ChatGPT, this recipe is trending on TikTok. Can you take a look and see if there's any way we can make it even better?
Certainly, I can take a look at the recipe and suggest some potential improvements. It seems like a delicious French onion soup potatoes recipe with a TikTok twist. Here are some enhancements.
Hey guys, welcome back to the AI Kitchen. We are going to make some French onion potatoes, which sounds interesting. I keep seeing videos of this on TikTok and such, and I'm like, you know what, we should try making our own version of this. Sadly, on TikTok, it always takes like 30 to 60 seconds. When I look at this actual recipe, it looks like it's gonna be a long haul to create this. Listen to all these birds today, it's crazy. I think it's gonna be a big recipe, like as far as just take a long time, because it includes caramelizing onions, which for some reason takes a small eternity. But we're gonna do it, because I think they're gonna be delicious and worth it. Strap in, and let's see how it comes out. It's interesting that it says white onion sliced. Thin semicircle. Okay, so I know what it's talking about now. I get it. I had to ask ChatGPT what in the world it was talking about. Wait, do I want to do it? Yeah, we'll cut it in half first. We'll do this. That's how we're doing it, whether we like it or not. All right, so now that I have these sliced up, we're basically gonna put them on a skillet and we're gonna put them over like lowish heat, low to medium heat, and put them in with some white wine. I got white cooking wine. Is that different? I don't know, but that's what I got. Let me get a big skillet. Okay, so I've got my skillet over here. I'll move my camera, but basically I'm gonna put 2 cups of white wine in my skillet. And again, I got the cooking wine. Hopefully that's okay. And we'll see. It technically calls for dry wine. Should I look that up? Can I use cooking wine? I'm just gonna ask ChatGPT, that's what I do. Yes, you can use cooking wine as a substitute for dry wine. It's just lower quality. Okay, use the same amount. Yeah, so it's fine, it's just not as high quality. It would be a little better if I used real white wine. I wouldn't even know where to start in buying white wine. So let's get the camera set up over here. Got my skillet heating up over here. I'm gonna add my onions first, I think. Try not to spill them everywhere. And then we'll add our 2 cups of white wine. There's 1 cup. It's gonna be the whole bottle, I think. Oh, it's not actually enough. Whoops. 1.5 cups of white wine. Maybe I have more in the house. I'll go check. I don't have any more white wine. So we're doing 1.5 cups. It is what it is. I don't think it's a huge deal because I've never even used white wine to caramelize onions. So we're gonna let that cook for a little bit. Turn the heat up a hair. Not too much though. It actually says to put it on medium-high heat, which is where I think I'm at now, until the liquid evaporates. We'll let it do that. And then we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of olive oil, salt, pepper, and a pinch of brown sugar. And then cook for 1 hour. Oh my Lanta. Whew. Okay, so we want the liquid to evaporate. Lower the temp, add olive oil, salt, pepper, brown sugar. Let me make sure I have all those ingredients. That's what I meant when I said this seems like this recipe is gonna be like a slog. It's gonna be a big project. Sometimes for like a good recipe, you just gotta relax and enjoy the ride and have a special treat at the end. So it wants me to slice the potato into 1/2-inch rounds, which I'm trying to, ooh, what is that? That's disturbing. Trying to figure out what that means. They're Yukon potatoes. Actually, let me move my other camera back over here so you can watch me do this prep work. Okay, I think I got everything figured out. I needed 6 Yukon Gold potatoes, so I went and I washed those, and they need to be in 1/2-inch rounds, which I believe is basically like this. They're like big fries or something. I think that's what we're looking for. That kind of sizing right there, based on Google showing me when I asked. To cut your 6 potatoes into 1/2-inch rounds, and then we're gonna wanna get them in a pot of water, because I think they're like apples and they turn brown if you don't get them in some water or something. Actually, you know what? I'll just look at them in the next step. I think we might be putting them in beef broth. All right, so we got all those. Oops, throwing the knives, that's really safe. We're gonna take 2 cups of beef broth, homemade or otherwise, and fill it in a pot, put it in a pot. That's basically, I think, wait, is that a whole thing of this? Or is this 4 cups? Oh, this is 4 cups. Dang it. I'll just do half of this, that'll be fine. I don't think you can really have too much. Yeah, so I use about 1/2 of that, which should be 2 cups. And then we're gonna put our potatoes into that beef broth, which I like that. Normally I cook potatoes in water, but I love the idea of cooking it in beef broth to like take it to the next level. I think that's a great idea. See, they're not even fully submerged, which makes me think I should just put some more water or more beef broth in there. I wanna make sure they're nice and submerged. I'm just gonna do 4 cups of beef broth, that's fine. It's not like we're gonna eat the beef broth. There we go. Beautiful. So it says to add some freshly ground pepper and some kosher salt, not pepper. So I'll just throw some pepper in there. And then a tablespoon of salt, sea salt technically, or any salt you want, who cares? All right, so these are gonna go on the stove top as well. So I'm gonna bring it over here. We need to preheat our oven to 450 and put a sheet pan in it. And that sheet pan should have olive oil on it. I'll get the sheet pan, I'll show you. All right, so this is a sheet pan. You all knew, it's like a cookie sheet, right? At least that's what I think it is. We're gonna throw some olive oil in it. We're gonna set our oven to 450 and put this inside the oven so that by the time the potatoes go on it, this oil is like piping hot, and we'll crisp up the potatoes that we put in it. So we'll put that in the oven at 450, and the potatoes, we're gonna turn the heat on, just boil it, right? Boil over high heat for 20 minutes until they are soft but not falling apart. Oh, real quick, the onions liquid has evaporated completely. I don't have my camera set up, but I gotta stir it pretty quick. Now I'm gonna crank down the heat on the onions, and then I'll move my camera and show you. Here we go. Here's our onions and our taters. Move the camera just a smidge. So I'll put it over here. Now you can see it all. Now we need to put a little olive oil, a couple tablespoons of olive oil. I'm gonna do it like this, just because I don't want it to burn. Mix it up, and I crank the heat way down on this. I'm like up above you. It's kind of confusing, I know. Start this caramelization process. It says for an hour. I call baloney, but we'll see. So it says add a pinch of brown sugar, which I will do. Some salt and pepper. How much salt and pepper? It just says salt and pepper to taste, so I'll just grind some pepper on there. Add a little salt. I'm gonna add a hair more olive oil, because it said 3 tablespoons, and I think I only put about 2. And we mix it up one more time, and then we're just gonna let it sit on the lowest heat for, it says an hour. I don't think this outdoor grill actually gets as cold as like an indoor oven. Like, it's gonna be hotter than what I'd expect, so I don't think it's gonna be an hour, because this is working off real flames. These we're gonna let come to temp as well, and we'll be back in about 20 minutes when the potatoes are done. All right, so while we wait for the onions to caramelize, the potatoes to soften, all that sort of fun stuff, we do have a couple little small chores we could work on. One being getting our cheese blend ready. Now this calls for a blend of cheeses, and it says you can choose Parmesan, Gruyere, and Swiss. Some of them, all of them, whatever you prefer. I did some of them. I did Parmesan and Gruyere, because those are 2 of my favorite cheeses. Whereas Swiss, not a huge fan. So we're just gonna shred this. This is a blend, so they're gonna go together. How much of each do we need? 1.5 cups, so like 3/4 cups of each. Probably just a little more of the Parm, and then I'll move on to the Gruyere. I'm gonna take some Gruyere. Now Gruyere and mac and cheese, really good. Check out my world's best mac and cheese recipe for an insanely good mac and cheese recipe that you will always be wanting. And it has Gruyere in it. So here's the Gruyere, do the same thing, get a bunch of that shredded. And this will be our cheese mix. We can set it aside in the fridge or something until we get to that step. Cheese, glorious cheese. What wouldn't I give for? What's that from? Oliver? Food, glorious food. There we go. We got a cheese blend. Beautiful. So let's set that aside for later. My main complaint with Gruyere is it's incredibly expensive. It was $7 for that small thing. Okay, so it also says we can use like a tablespoon of fresh herbs. And so I've got some, what is this, thyme? But you're just supposed to eat the leaves, right? I always forget. They're hard to get off though. So I'm getting some thyme ready. I've got time to get some thyme. And I've got some rosemary as well. Maybe you can eat the sticks on this one instead of rosemary where you're not supposed to. I can't recall. You guys tell me in the comments. Whatever, that's enough of that, I guess. Let me get a couple more little leaves off of it. Good enough. And then some rosemary. And this definitely you don't want to eat the stick, because I think that's the one I was thinking of. This is like a tablespoon of these herbs. That's probably enough. That's probably more than a tablespoon actually. Going to just chop them up, and I'm combining them. It kind of flew everywhere if you didn't notice. All right, so we're just gonna set this tablespoon of fresh herbs aside too. We're gonna use that a little bit later. But I figured get it ready now while we're waiting for the everlasting process of caramelizing onions. All right guys, my potatoes have been in here for 20 minutes, and I think I wanna take them out, but I don't have anything I need. Let's see if they feel, yeah, they feel soft but not falling apart, so I think we're good. I'm gonna take these off the heat and strain them in a strainer. That's what you do. That's how you strain stuff, with a strainer. All right, I got them. I didn't burn myself. I'm gonna stir the onions one more time. Yeah, those are looking pretty caramely, aren't they? It's like caramel, or is it caramel? So I'm back over here. This is a pan I just pulled from the oven. It's scorching hot, I think. Where are my tongs? Oh, whatever. I'm just gonna use my hands and burn them. Oh, we're gonna pop them on. That can't be the right way to do this. Can I use this? Let me use this. Basically, I feel like they were supposed to make like a crisping noise, but they didn't. Maybe that's because it took me a couple minutes to strain them. But anyways, try not to burn your hands, guys. Put the potatoes on this pan. Ah, it's so hot. Get tongs, Dave. Get tongs. Or at least a fork. Do something, Dave. I told you this recipe was gonna be overwhelming for me. It's going fine though. It's really not bad. It's a lot of waiting more than anything else. So I'm just putting all the taters on here, and then they're gonna get something on top of them, I believe. Probably the herbs we just cut up. Am I supposed to put them which side up, which side down? I don't know. I'll do a little both ways and we'll see what comes out better. Okay, so that's good. Now we sprinkle with herbs, like so. That looks pretty good. I almost want these this way. I feel like it's just gonna like be better. But then again, they're kind of hard to turn. All right, whatever. A couple of them are gonna be upside down. It's fine. It's fine, guys. It's fine. So this is rosemary and thyme. It smells like deliciousness. And then we're gonna put them back in the oven at 450 for 20 to 30 minutes, flipping them halfway. So I'm gonna put them in, I'm gonna flip them at 13 minutes, and then I'm gonna do another 13 minutes because that'll put me at 26 minutes, which feels like the right number right now. I told you it was gonna be a project. It's still going. Ooh, that's hot. Oh, that's really hot. Spraying my hand. Ow. The caramelized onions are kind of blackened onions at this point. It's only been 45 minutes, but I think they're okay because even as is, I think they're just, you know, they're just ultra caramelized. They're all good. So now that it's been 26 minutes of the potatoes cooking, I'm just taking them out. I did flip them at 13 minutes. And now I'm taking them out and I'm going to put caramelized onions on them. Easy enough, right? Which is kind of like, you know, French onion soup, which the whole entire recipe is based on French onion soup, I believe. That's the idea here. It smells delicious. It's a project, but all right, so what I'm learning very quickly, guys, is I don't have nearly enough onions to get good coverage on everything. So the question is, do we spread them out super thin and everyone gets a little, or do we go all in on like a handful of potatoes so that we have some really good ones and then some just won't get onion? I think we're just gonna go all in on this little section here. All right, so that's kind of how much I've got as far as the onions go. We've got some ambulances going by. Now I'm gonna just take that cheese blend we made earlier and put it over it. I might as well put it on the ones that don't have onions too, because why not? And they're gonna go back in the oven for 3 to 5 minutes until the cheese is nice and melted, and then we're gonna be done with this hour-plus potato project. But you know what? I think it's gonna be worth it. I'll let you know. Stay tuned. We did it, guys. We did it. We created the French onion potatoes. Mine are a mess compared to what I've seen on TikTok. But there you go. There they are in all their glory. Are they beautiful? Are they beautiful, guys? Are they beautiful? So this is the part that's got all the onion. That's what I want to try. Now, there's a good chance I will scorch my face off here if I'm not careful. It smells very cheesy. Let's take a look at one. Oh, there we go. Look, doesn't that look good? I think it looks good. It's gonna be so hot. Oh, it's so soft. Oh, that's hot. Oh, those are interesting. It does, wow. It tastes exactly like a French onion soup. You know, like you get the French onion soup, there's a liquid at the bottom. And at the top, there's that melted cheese with like the bread or the croutons that are like all soggy and filled with the soup. It tastes like that top layer. Like if you were to just take your spoon, get that top bit with maybe a tiny bit of liquid with the cheese and eat that, then you would basically have the same experience as eating these potatoes, which makes them delicious if you like French onion soup, which I do. Do you like French onion soup? It's like making me really crave French onion soup too. But the onions are like super caramelized, very hot, but very delicious. All right, dude, we've had, I called you dude, sorry. But we've had several, I want to take some extra cheese, some extra onions. We've had several good recipes in a row, guys. Make sure you watch my last couple too. Everything we've cooked out here today has been delicious. So I'm 3 for 3 on my recipes out here. Pretty exciting, delicious. I'll see you guys later. Make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching. This is the AI Kitchen, signing off. Cheesy? Oh, whatever, we're gonna go with it.